Right now we're going to switch gears and talk about early detection of heart disease. In fact, 1 in 5 people worldwide have inherited high protein lipoprotein A. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, but we're going to take a deep dive into this subject right now with Dr. Katherine McGowan and also with Katherine Wilemon. We're so happy that they're both here with us today. Katherine, let's start with you. We understand that you had a heart attack. Tell me more about that. In fact, you were very young.
I was 39 years old when I had a heart attack. And I had known that I had a high cholesterol. I actually have 2 genetic conditions, but I was not specifically diagnosed with lipoprotein a elevation. It's also a genetic condition, and it causes clotting and inflammation and plaque buildup in the arteries that feed the heart and the brain. But I was completely unaware. And so I'd actually been getting heart disease progressing since I was born. And I'm so lucky to be alive today and have made it through to the other side. And that's really why I started the Family Heart Foundation, is because genetic causes of cardiovascular disease are actually quite common, like lipoprotein a, as you said, occurring in 1 in 5 people. That's about 65 million people in the US, but they are not people are not well aware of them. And oftentimes, in the case of Lp(a), they're not even being tested, so they don't know they're at risk.
And Dr. Mary McGowan, thank you also for joining us today. Who should be tested for LPA?
Yeah, I think around the world, many experts, myself included, would say that everyone should be tested at least once in their life and as early as possible. As Katherine said, you were born with elevated lipoprotein a. So being tested early in life is important. And as Katherine mentioned, unfortunately, most people are not being tested. Most people will get a cholesterol test at some point in their life. But lipoprotein a is a different test. It's not measured when you measure cholesterol. And our research indicates that fewer than 1% of Americans have had their lipoprotein a measured. Yet we know that 1 in 5 is going to have an elevated level, putting them at increased risk of heart disease and stroke. So in short, everyone should be measured.
And if you do have an Lp(a) measured and it is high, what can you do? What should you do to reduce your risk?
That's a very important question. So first thing I would say is that if you have a high Lp(a), it's important to know it's inherited. One of your parents will also have a high Lp(a). Your children have a 50% chance of inheriting it from you, and your siblings should be screened as well. If you have a high lipoprotein a, because we don't have specific medications right now, although they're in clinical trials, it's important for you to reduce all other risk factors. As Katherine said, measure your cholesterol and get that under control, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, eat a heart-healthy diet, exercise on a daily basis, and certainly don't smoke cigarettes. So those are the things that we have people do to minimize their risk. And people with high Lp(a), if they do those things, they may reduce their risk versus other people with high Lp(a) who don't by about 2/3. But unfortunately, all you need is this high Lp(a) to get into trouble with early cardiovascular disease, as we've seen with Katherine.
And Katherine, tell me about the Family Heart Foundation and what it's doing to address gaps in care.
So the Family Heart Foundation actually does conduct research, and we advocate at a policy level to protect individuals who have genetic causes of cardiovascular disease. And we're really working to raise awareness. This March 24th will be the first annual Lipoprotein a Awareness Day. That's next Thursday, because it is so common, but it is really probably most people have never heard of it. So it is imperative that people get the information they need so they can help themselves. But as Dr. McGowan said, this is a family condition. Each of your family members will have a 50% chance of having it. So the implications of learning that you have it are incredibly important.
And where can we go for more information about all of this?
So if people will go to morefamiliesmorehearts.org, they can take a little quiz to see if it's likely that they might have it, looking at their own family history, or get resources that they can share and join us on March 24th to spread the word about lipoprotein(a) at morefamiliesmorehearts.org.
Well, thank you so much, Katherine Wilemon and Dr. Mary McGowan, for joining us today, talking about this important information with detecting early heart disease and Lp(a), making sure to get that measured and why that matters. We'll be back right here on Mountain Connections right after this.